This article is from yesterday, and this is from Bleeding Fool. It says, "Get woke. Disney stock is now the worst performing of the year, and one of the worst stocks year to year." It's not a qualitative statement, it's a quantitative statement. Between June of 2021 and June of this year, Disney stock fell 45.5%. 45.5%. You know what 45.5% is? It's almost half. Disney has lost nearly half of their stock value year to year. Parks are open. They built that Star Wars hellhole hotel that nobody wanted to go to, that everybody made videos about. They've got Star Wars. They have the MCU. What's going wrong, guys? Why isn't Disney rolling in money?
Why does nobody love Disney anymore? Yes.
Is it all the Trump voters? Is it all the people who don't want to get jabbed? Is that what it is? Are they to blame? You know who's doing worse than them? The only company really doing worse than them is something called Nike. Remember Nike? They moved everything to China. Because Nike is now a Chinese company. That's what they said.
Yes. Shouldn't at least one of these be in red color?
I'm confused. China has 4 billion potential consumers. 4 billion people in China. There's only, 300 and change million people in the United States? Where are those 4 billion people? Why aren't they buying Nike shoes? Why aren't they consuming Disney content? After all, they smoked us here in the United States and in Europe because of those 4 billion people in China, and then I forget what it is, about 2 billion in India.
To be fair, their kids were making the shoes.
Well, they are. The ones that aren't in camps where you have to concentrate, too.
Yeah.
This isn't working. This isn't working. The ESG scores, it's not working. And it's not just here in the United States. It's not working in China. It's not working in India. These audiences do not want this trash. And Zax, I see that when you do live streams talking about Indian cinema within your chat. I see many, many people who say the same thing. They don't want this woke entertainment. Why are all of the men weak? Why are all the women so annoying and bitchy? They don't want this. Now, maybe that's just the subsection of people who are from that area who love Indian cinema and what they're saying. After all, there's a couple billion people in that area. There's got to be a diversity of opinions. What there is not a diversity of opinion of is giving Disney money. That's in China and in India. 2 very different cultures that don't really get along if you pay attention to the news. But we're the problem here. And we need to be educated, but we were the cultures, the evil Western civilization cultures that need to be educated, that need to be deconstructed, that need to be taught our sins. But this company isn't making money.
Well, I think that with Disney and everything in China's moving the other direction. They're trying to push away from the feminizing of men. India is very much, at least in their cinema, against any idea of that, and we're being pulled more towards it. And I don't want to get into the Sandman too much because you guys did a good job of that already. But if you watch Sandman, there's representation, but I can't think of a straight black male either, straight black man in the show. So it's like there's not that either. So as much as there's representation, it's like they're feminizing everyone they can.
Yeah.
Agreed. And
except women. Except
women. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, women don't need to be feminine, it's 2022 again. But they are incredibly lucky that the parks are still running because this is where their revenue is going. But they are also rising the price of the tickets. So they're starting to price people out. It's becoming like Jurassic Park. It's just for the super rich.
Yeah. Look at this tweet from Finley Matthews, was tweeting at Star Wars, shouting out Andor premiering September 21st on the hellhole money-losing venture that is Disney Plus. And he says, don't make Star Wars political. In Disney Star Wars, the official account said number 1, queer characters existing isn't political. And number 2, Star Wars is literally in our name. I can't imagine why Disney is losing money.
It's a real head scratcher, isn't it? Yes.
I can't stand that argument that just everything was political that no one talked about. You know, like it was always political, and it's like, really? Like this political? Like, I don't know. You hear that all the time in comics. Like, comics have always been political. And it's like, sure, but there's been context, there's been subtext, there's been nuance, there's been subtlety. The whole thing on Disney, though, there's a just real life experience. I was literally in the shop today buying books, like I was telling you guys earlier. And the woman behind the cash register had a Loki shirt on. Not the Loki that we know, the Loki Disney show Loki shirt on.
Must have got it in the clearance rack for like $1.
And just to be nice and just to kind of spark geeky conversation, right? I go, "Oh, Loki, did you like the show?" And she goes, "Oh, I didn't actually watch it." And I was like, "Oh, did you watch Miss Marvel?"
Right.
Because I actually heard Miss Marvel was actually kind of good. She's like, "I haven't really watched it either." And I was like, me neither. So it's like no one watching these shows, but we're just gonna continue to fucking throw money at it because next Disney product, So I was just like,
I have the next Disney product. Are you ready? You guys at home, if you haven't seen this, I've shared these pictures in our little Twitter channel group, and if you're a new channel member, please reach out to myself or Zach's on Twitter. This is the next new Disney product.
Oh, stunning!
There it
and
is.
Stunning and brave.
Stunning and brave.
It's Buzz Lightyear.
Representation. It's representation. It's representation of a comic book character that you were ranting about in a very good way. You were going off pretty hard about this. Why don't you tell the folks at home who we're looking at?
Well, this is Ironheart. This is the woman who claims that she could do so much better than Iron Man, Tony Stark Iron Man, so much so that she steals. I don't know if anyone was here during the Summer of Love, where lots of things were being stolen, but it's kind of within
and
that
set
same
on fire.
realm. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Don't forget to set on fire.
Burning, looting, rioting, all that good stuff. But yeah, Riri says to her, her professor or her teacher in class, she says, "Don't oppress me." And the teacher goes, I'm not. I'm just literally saying that these are the limitations of something. And she says, "Well, I'm going to prove you wrong." And then goes out and steals Iron Man's suit. But in the MCU, I believe she's making it out of a car because anything Tony can do, she can do better.
It's a child.
Right.
And she's BIPOC, and probably, I don't know, there's probably a whole checklist of things, and those are the only things that she needs to be able to do this.
Yeah, no character, just traits.
Yeah, that's the replacement to Tony Stark.
You're absolutely right. I was just piggybacking off what Max was saying. Yeah, she is in a sense a super villain. This should have been her super villain origin. She is a sociopath in the comics. She wanted to be oppressed by the teacher, and the teacher basically said to her, "You can be pretty much anything you want to be if you put your mind to it." So she spent the next probably several pages of this comic listing off things until she got to being Iron Man. And she said, "Right, that's what I'm going to be to prove you wrong." Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if Zod ever went to the Fortress of Solitude to steal a Kryptonian suit from Superman to reverse engineer it so that he could wear it on Earth, that sounds like a bad guy. That sounds like a villain trait.
Yeah. We used to have characters like that all through the 80s and 90s. And I remember there were characters like this in cartoons on Saturday morning and then into the 80s. And they were the people you weren't supposed to be. Because they took something that didn't belong to them. Because they resented the people who had earned that thing. And they didn't think they should have to work for it.